Okay, yeah, I'm live. Um, I think I'm live now. Hey, it's Chloethedev here. I'm super tired. 11:48 tonight. I've been working like 10-hour days, 3 days in a row for HashCloak, and it's been super fun. Um, so I've decided that I'm gonna start going through uh, what I'm doing for my internship at HashCloak. My hair looks crazy. It always looks crazy when I go live or any part of the day. I got my ring back. So I got my promise ring, I guess, from my girlfriend back. I had a replacement ring for a while, so I switched them out. Super cute. But I've been, so to start it off, I got an internship. I was a student at University of Windsor. And what I really wanted to do was learn more about Ethereum, learn how to help out, learn anything about blockchain technology and like peer-to-peer networks. So I went to university for computer science, and I got an internship, randomly with Mercure at HashCloak, and I was working on validated privacy. And all that really was talking about is maybe I should try putting my headphones in. Now I want to see what the difference is like in the sound quality when I put my these headphones in, and hopefully it'll be better. Because I do want people to be able to hear me. And I want to be able to hear myself if I listen to this back in the future. But I got an internship and I was working on validated privacy, and I knew nothing about it beforehand. My glasses are shining, it's bothering me. But I knew nothing about it beforehand. But basically, she gave me a reading list, and I just started reading and summarizing and reading and summarizing and reading and summarizing. And it's funny because I always kind of knew I wanted to be a security researcher or work in like blockchain security. And I used to just tweet at people. And I was like, how do I get involved? And they're like, read this, read this, read this. And I was like, that doesn't help me. I don't know what that means. And it's funny because my boss is saying the exact same thing. Read this. And it's funny because being a security researcher, it truly seems like all you do is just try and read and learn every possible instance of attacks and hacks and different ways of mitigating those things and risk mitigation strategies and stuff like that. And the more deep you go into a certain system, the better you are at knowing that system and all that kind of stuff. So, and so what I've been doing is really getting into validated privacy, which led me from like mixed nets to DC nets. And I did say last time I would explain DC nets again. It actually isn't that complicated. I was making it way more complicated than it was. DC nets is basically, just say you have like 3 people at a table and you want to know, you're eating dinner and you want to make sure someone at the table bought dinner and not some poisonous, it wasn't poisoned by some stranger you don't know. You trust people at the table, you don't trust poisonous people. So basically you all put zeros or ones. 0 means you didn't pay for the dinner. 1 means you did for the dinner. And at the end of the round, of the election round, you check the results. And as long as you saw a 1 there, you know that someone at the table paid for dinner. And if you didn't see a 1, you'd know that someone else paid for this dinner, and therefore you wouldn't trust it. That's all it is. It's actually quite funny that I couldn't explain it, but that's the point I'm kind of trying to make, is that these topics all build upon each other. And so being able to explain DC nets doesn't actually mean anything, in my opinion, to building an actual usable real-world network, because there's so many layers of these things that get built into each other. And that's the goal. The goal was to try and go through all these systems and learn which types of systems might work for peer-to-peer blockchain networks. So for me personally, my personal research, I'm looking for ways to do this for Ethereum. With my position, my internship, it's just looking for ways to do it in general, just with blockchains and peer-to-peer networks. So we're looking at Gossip Sub and all these different ideas of ways to do things. But it's been so much fun to really delve into this, because the big difference is I'm getting paid now to read all these papers and learn all this stuff. And so it's getting me now add my YouTube premium subscription so I can do free courses online and stuff like that. But now I'm back into there's BIU or whatever, the free cryptography courses online on YouTube. But yeah, I've just been trying to get re-involved in all these things. I've just been so busy though. My friend that was staying with us left today. Actually, I live with a friend in Windsor. She moved to Windsor. My other best friend's moving to Windsor, so a lot's been going on. But I did want to go through my actual research a little bit. And the purpose of today's video, sorry, it took me 5 minutes to do this. I'll get better at this, I hope. So the purpose of this is to go through my validator privacy stuff and then go through my DCNet reading stuff just very quickly, just to give a brief overview of what I've been learning, the directions I've been going. And then just the past few days, I've been going over more like just general multi-party computing. I was going through a party paper, and I was going through like secret sharing or Shamir secret sharing, and I was like, whoa, I'm confused. So then my boss was like, okay, I think it might be time for you to go through this like multi-party computing. And it's been going through like, I guess, more recent stuff, and it's been really helpful for me. Giving me more background on stuff. So if anyone wants any links, message me and I'll share them with you. They're all on my GitHub, I guess. I've commented on some for the HashCloack GitHub. I think it's a public GitHub. I'm not sure. So I started by going through all the different privacy posts on ethresearch. The Ethereum research community has a forum called ethresear.ch. And if you go there, you can pretty much see all the important things about Ethereum-specific research. Most blockchains do have similar forums for their blockchain. So Bitcoin has their forum, I think Zcash, Cosmos. I know Cosmos for sure because I've actually done some summaries of Cosmos forums. I did a summary of just general design for security. So that was the very first thing I did actually, and it was just a basic summary of like how do you design general systems to be secure. And that's actually been the fun part of like security, being a security researcher. A lot of these topics aren't specific to Ethereum or blockchain or even computer science. There's general like risk management, risk assessment things, risk mitigation in a lot of instances. So a lot of my prior knowledge actually does pertain to this, which is actually cool. I went through like a lot of secret leader stuff. So like, how do you have an election with a winner who's secret? So you don't know who the winner is. You can keep that stuff private. Lots of different stuff like that. So that was kind of like the general validator privacy, like Byzantine attacks and all this kind of stuff. Then I got more specific because my boss was like, yeah, I think DC nets will be the way this might be able to get done. So I talked a couple of days ago about how Chom in like 1980s or whatever talked about, or mid 80s, talked about the dining cryptographers network, how you can, how you could have low latency networks where you could actually have many rounds where you have an election where you don't know who won, because in the dinner table example I gave earlier, you don't know who paid for dinner. So, but if it's not someone at the table, you do know. So if it's a malicious actor who's not in your rules, you can know and you can abort the system, and you could add all these other rules. And that's why, to me, the simple DC net is kind of complicated to me because it doesn't make any sense. It's illogical because it's not helpful. Like if I know that someone else is attacking my network, but I can't do anything about it, and I don't eat and I go home hungry, I'm going to starve. They're going to keep attacking my network. So how do I make sure that I can actually kick them out and make sure that I am in the restaurant where I can eat and be safe? Ethereum, in my opinion, and a lot of blockchains, a lot of POS blockchains solve this with proof of stake by putting some assets on the line so that if you get, when you don't listen or you do something against the consensus algorithm, the network, you get slashed and you lose your stake and you leave the network. So we're talking about DC nets here, and like how can we use DC nets to create these private validator pools. So my line of thinking, or one of the papers that really got me thinking was asymmetric DC net. So I'm trying to find it. So group formation for asymmetric DC nets. It was 2018 paper. I summarized this. It was written by Simon, Nicholas, and Helmut Becker. if it's a French name. If it's not a French name, I'm sorry. I'll actually open the paper because it was actually a really good one. I had a lot of fun reading it. It was so long. This paper, oh no, this was only 90 pages, 94 pages. Sorry, the different one was long. It was actually a nice one. Short, concise, very well written. Sorry, the long one I'm thinking of was also well written, but this one I'm thinking of. So German researchers, which who knows, they might be French, but the university was German. But yeah, such a good paper. And they basically talked about having like asymmetry in these DC nets. And I'm a soccer player, a footballer. So I always like thinking back to it as more like soccer or football in the European leagues or in, the American leagues or, MLS. So, the MLS system, it works, I guess, but it's a very capitalist system where the nodes just keep growing. It's not very decentralized, and it doesn't produce a lot. It produces a lot of safety for the centralized teams that are in the league, in the network, but doesn't actually produce a lot of like security beneath that and all that stuff. You can get into that. I have a degree in sports management and sports psychology, so for me, I relate things back to sports a lot. But in the European leagues, one of the best reasons why the English league and all the Europeans are so strong is in the English league, especially the professional pyramid is such a strong topography. Like it's a very stratified, right? So you have the big teams on top, and you have the really small teams, and teams go up and down. So with this asymmetric DC nets, I guess the idea is you have a topography of DC nets, and nodes would be able to move between these DC nets, and they'd have orders to them. So you'd have groups so that the groups would form greedily, and you'd have groups that were forming quicker with better nodes, and you'd have groups that formed a little slower with nodes that weren't as reliable. And the nodes that formed quicker with better nodes could help out the nodes that formed slower, and stuff like that. So that's how you can form consensus. Sorry, my back is like killing me. Within a reasonable time frame, because within that time frame, you could always have teams helping each other out. And I always try to say like the best way to have harmony is through intense equilibrium. Because I don't know, like holding your hand down to a hot plate hurts a lot if you hold it down for a really long time. But if you hold it down for a really short time and remove it really quickly, it doesn't hurt that bad. It hurts really, but you remove it. So like you're able to have a certain level of harmony you're actually able to singe the tips of your fingers and gain some like strength in certain ways. And so you're able to gain some sort of a use case potentially out of that without gaining the pain out of that. Burning your hand isn't a good example of of that, but that's the point. The point is in high entropy environments, in my opinion, allow you to be highly efficient. In my opinion, sorry, my windows are open today because it was I think you need to iterate over things many times. So even with like whatever, take Ethereum or take any blockchain network or take private validators or research or anything, you need to implement something, try it, and if it works, great. But there's going to be something wrong with it, and you need to try it again over and over again. So that entropy of trying and failing and trying and failing is, in my opinion, the best way to be efficient, because you learn. I mean, as long as you learn something each time, but computers can always log some data and can always learn something every time they fail. And so I think it's very efficient to have many things running through a peer-to-peer network, which is why I love working on it so much, which is why I love doing what I do, is because even like, you take DeFi going crazy right now and skyrocketing, and it's like, okay, well, even if a huge DeFi platform gets hacked, and it's a failure, people will learn from that, and people will fork that code, fork fixes to that and fix it and get even bigger after that. And so you need this, but you don't want just one large hack where everyone loses all their money. It would be better if we had, a bunch of tiny hacks or a bunch of tiny mistakes, not even hacks, but just bugs that were caught in testing or, right after production, or, white hackers stealing funds and giving them back. Those are the things you want to see lots of that, and learning from lots of people, which I think you're seeing. You're just seeing so much iteration, so much building that on Ethereum, because it's all open source. And that's why I think
I love doing this is because this knowledge, and even if no one watches this, I mean, and I want to get better at disseminating my information and get better at teaching my information, get better at sharing this information. But the point of this as well is to be like, okay, well, if I'm able to spend all this time learning this information, can I do a good job at sharing it so that it's free for somebody else who is interested in this, who wants to get involved in learning how to be an Ethereum security researcher or private validators, or because I'm an intern. I would love, like today, the Ethereum Foundation said they're releasing like I call it like a dream team of security researchers who are going to make sure that ETH 2.0 is secure and safe. And I'm like, yes, that is my dream job. That's amazing. Thank you for releasing this, but I don't even know how to get there. But I think that what will help me get there is doing this every Sunday, because it'll help me do better with my stand-up calls with my boss on Mondays. And it'll help me hopefully keep my job and do better at my job and learn this information better, be able to explain it better. And that's the goal, just to keep doing this. I start my course with Consensus Academy, Blockchain Development Academy, September 1st. I'm really excited for that. And I am probably moving into a trailer and living the remote life. I'll probably be in BC this winter, snowboarding somewhere. I actually realized that I have a friend that lives out there. Like Jay Harrell. I think she works at QuantStamp. She's moving back to Vancouver. And so I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm not sure how long we'll actually be in like BC for though, because I do want to go see my son for a bit. For like Christmas time, but maybe we'll fly out. I honestly have no clue what my girlfriend and I are going to be doing. But I am like 99% sure we're going to be getting a trailer and being mobile. Because I'm kind of really finally figuring out what I want to do with my life. I'm kind of finally figuring out what I'm enjoying doing. I love researching. And that's kind of what I want to put a lot of my focus into when I'm not researching. I have a lot of volunteer stuff I do. I run an altruistic foundation. I'm a mentor for 500 Nigerian devs. And so I'm hopefully going to be taking my blockchain development course and hopefully mentoring and teaching the material from that to them. I wanted to make a flash loan bot. That's still a thing. I took Julian's flash loan course. I paid the $100 or whatever. I want to do it. I'm so busy. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be getting my validator up. I'm trying to do what I say. I'm trying to do what I say I'm going to do. So I said I was going to go live Sunday night. It's midnight. I'm tired. I'm live. I said I wanted to go over my research. I did a little bit. So where I got to was I think that the asymmetric DC net is a good way to go for POS staking potentially on Ethereum. I have a lot more to learn with so much. So right now I'm going through MPC stuff, multi-parity computing, and like secure multi-parity computing, so SMC stuff. It's really complicated for me. Like I'm not a computer scientist through and through. Like I have a background in psychology and sports, and I understand group formation and like psychology and how that works a lot, and like networking. I grew up around computers a lot and stuff like that, but some of the technicals and the math I have a hard time with. So I have a lot more work to do on just research. And YouTube has been the best resource. And that's why I think I love getting, so I keep hitting my microphone. I'm sure it's annoying people. I'm sorry. I love doing this on YouTube because, it's helping me by talking through on YouTube, and hopefully it helps someone eventually. I'm going to end this soon. My girlfriend's having back pain, so I'm going to go give her a back massage. Tomorrow's a holiday, so I am going to spend it working. I enjoy working, so I'm actually excited to get some work done tomorrow. Finish this next book, hopefully. I can't believe I get paid to read these books. Like I feel guilty all the time. I feel like I'm stealing my boss's money every day. I have severe imposter syndrome. So if anyone is watching this and they ever feel like they have imposter syndrome at their job, you're not unique in that regard. I'm sorry. I have it as well, as will do many others. And like, I literally spend so much time, free time on my own, just learning. because I just feel bad that if I don't learn enough on my own, that I'm like not doing enough. I don't know. It's weird. Which I'm not sure is healthy because it means that I work till Sunday nights trying to get 40 hours a weekend on my time clock. When I'm sitting there, like literally when I shower like an hour and a half a day, listening to podcasts about like cryptography. At like now I do 1.4x speed on Google Podcasts. I used to do 1.8, but for like complex topics, 1.4 is good. I really enjoy what I do. I'm glad that it's coming together. Like I'm a director, a board member for Nifty Pride Foundation, which is like a blockchain-based art crypto foundation, cartel. I don't know. I'm becoming a part of a lot of weird things, but they're all involved in like crypto and Ethereum, and I love it. And so, yeah, that's how the internship's been going. It's been going really well. I get paid tomorrow in DAI. I love how that, if you want to check how much I get paid and all that, you can see it on my ETH address, Chloethedev.eth. I don't get paid that much. I mean, I think I get paid an amazing amount for what I do. But I got a lot of bills. And but to me, it's not really about the money. I would do this for free. Like I just want to have I decided kind of today that I think I want to be a professional validator eventually. Whatever that means. In Canada, if I'm stuck in Canada for a little bit, Starlink is apparently releasing their public beta in November. So what I was thinking is get some Raspberry Pis, use Starlink, be in a trailer, run some validators for like my friends and family and myself, research and buy ETH and just validate. And that will be my full-time job, I think, for a few years. Maybe get some land and put a trailer on some land. My girlfriend wants a home base, but I hope that I can, like, my goal, I'm just gonna, this is called Chloethedev Unfiltered, and this is what it's here for. My goal is that I'll be able to, in September 9th, I think my internship ends September 9th. ETH is pumping, so hopefully, HashCloack's got money for days. I'm hoping to get a little bit of a raise. Let's say, I make $20 Canadian an hour now. I would love to make 20 DAI an hour eventually, without being taxed, whatever that means. I don't know. I don't like taxes to me. I don't really worry with. I don't care. Like when my boss pays me, she goes through all the math, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm so happy to be working and getting paid to research this stuff. I'm just happy to be doing it. If you have any critiques or any things you want me to work on, I'm doing it. But as for paying me, just send me anything to my ETH address and I'm happy. That's about it. Chloethedev.eth. Send anything there. I'll convert it to ETH anyway, and we're good to go. But I would like to get paid a little more ETH. Like that's what I mean. I don't actually care how much DAI I make, but like in my head, I don't have 32 ETH yet. So in my head, I'm not making enough money because I want 32 ETH, and I'm afraid I might not get it in time. And if you look at my old, never mind, I'm not even gonna go there. But I don't have 32 ETH yet, which is annoying to me. It's my fault completely. But on that note, I want to make sure that I get 32 ETH before Beacon Chain launch. I want to be there for the chain launch. I want to secure the network. I want to be there for all that. And so my goal is to work about 20 hours a week, 20 DAI an hour for HashCloak, and be hopefully eventually like a salaried researcher for them. And then I would love to work for a client team, an ETH 2.0 client team as a researcher. So I wouldn't mind working more altruistically for like the Ethereum. I mean, I'm not sure that's really altruistic, but for the Ethereum Foundation. And I wouldn't mind really working for like Consensus or something like that. But I think I want to work as altruistically as possible. And I think for some reason, these client teams for now seem to be quite altruistic. They just seem to be getting grants and just working on making a strong client that people can connect to Ethereum to. And in my opinion, that's what I want to be doing. I don't really want to be sitting there trying to get a raise or trying to, fundraise to VCs. I hate all of that. I know that like part of, HashCloak is like a trading products. And I want to learn that. I want to be a part of that. I want to help, to be completely honest, I want to help Makira. I want to help HashCloak do that. But if I could eventually become something, it would be a consultant. Maybe like, 3, 5, 10 years down the line, I would like to be a consultant to HashCloak and help them achieve their goals on the Ethereum side of things specifically, and do research for them in that kind of way. Maybe because I am working for a client team. So my goal is to really buckle down and do really well in this blockchain course at Consensus. Really buckle down and hopefully continue my research position at HashCloak. And then at the end of my blockchain course, my goal is to go to DevCon, network with people, meet all the client teams, and basically pick a client team that I want to work for. Or, I might not make the first cut or second, or I might not make any of them. I've honestly thought about making my own client too. So I'm not really, wherever the world takes me, I'm willing to go. But I would love to learn. Eventually I might make my own client. That would be wonderful. But I have so much to learn, and I just want someone to pay me a little bit of ETH to just learn and help and just do some research. I'm good at community building. I'm not that good at writing. I love researching though. So if you feel like, if anyone from a client, I'm going to keep doing this every single video I do now, but if you're from an ETH 2.0 client team and you're looking for researchers or volunteers or anything, comment or email me or DM me or any platform. I work for ETH. But yeah, I'm gonna go massage my girlfriend's back now. But I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm doing this next Sunday too, around this time, midnight. I hope I have more to talk about. I just started the new book. What's it called? I just started Applications of Secure Multi-Parity Computation. 270 pages of math. It 10 hours a day of that, my brain turns to mush. And so it's funny because I'll be like, oh, what did I learn? And I don't think I learned anything, but I'll read something in a few days later and I'm like, whoa, I understand this so much better. Or I went back to read some research posts today and I was like, oh, I understand what this is saying. And I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm learning so much and I understand it. And I want to, but I don't have time. I don't have time to read research posts. And that's the only problem with my job. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I start working and I go to bed at 3, 4, 5 a.m. and I love it. But I want it to be more eccentric. I want my job, I want to be paid to read every single research post. That needs to be part of my job because I don't have time to do it otherwise. And I want my learning to be efficient. And I have so much to learn. And right now I'm 100% devoted to my job at HashCloak. And right now I have way too much to learn to be focused on reading. It was a huge economics of staking in ETH 2.0 paper I want to read for fun. And I haven't been able to because I'm working and I love working, but it's the only way I can read these papers is if I get paid to read these papers. And it's who's going to pay me to do that? I have a Gitcoin grant up. You can donate so that I can do this stuff. I want to help Ethereum. So if you want more crazy people sitting there spending all their days securing the network and just sitting there thinking about cool ways to secure Ethereum, I'll do it. I mean, I hate begging. I'm not begging for no one's money, but I'll beg for your F. Anyways, I'm out. Thank you so much for not, watching or not watching. I love you all. Hope you have wonderful days. I'll see you next Sunday, I suppose. This is going to become a thing. Maybe I'll get one watcher next time. Maybe not. Either way, I'll keep doing it. I might do this. I'm going to do this more than once a week in September. I'm making that commitment now. So I'm going to do this once a week on Sundays for as long as I keep this internship with Makira. Even if I lose this internship, I will do my best to continue it with whatever research I've been doing for the week. So if I lose my internship, I will just move on to ethresearch or whatever else I'm doing. And yeah, but I also think I want to go at least once a week and go live about my blockchain course with Consensus to help me learn and go through all the modules. So it might be Sunday. It might be like a I don't know when. I have no clue at all. But this will be shorter next time, I promise. Love you all. Hope you're all having wonderful days. Bye.